Hello and welcome to South Asia Focus. I'm your host Uzma Jafri. We begin the show with India's growing bilateral ties with Australia. During the recent visit of Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull to India, both countries enhanced their ties in business, culture and education sectors. We have a report.
India rolled out the red carpet for Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull as he arrived in India on a three-day visit to strengthen bilateral ties with Asia's third-largest economy. Prime Minister Turnbull held delegation-level talks with his Indian counterpart Narendra Modi, and the two leaders agreed to strengthen ties in sectors like defence, security, education and innovation. They discussed regional issues and expressed their support for peace, stability and integrity of Afghanistan. A pact to significantly expand counter-terror cooperation was among 6 agreements India and Australia inked during Turnbull's visit, as the two countries called for strong action against those financing and providing sanctuary to terror groups. The MOUs signed provided for deeper cooperation in areas of health and medicine, sports, environment, climate and wildlife, civil aviation security and cooperation in space technology. Australia is one of the most popular foreign destinations for Indians studying abroad. Both countries have agreed to share education and innovation technology.
India and Australia recognize the central value of education and innovation in the prosperity of our societies. It is no surprise, therefore, that cooperation in the field of education and research is one of the most important aspects of our engagement.
Our flagship joint research fund, the Australia-India Strategic Research Fund, is Australia's largest with any country, and it's helped our universities, research institutions and companies to solve the practical challenges in critical areas to both countries, including health, food security and energy, as you've noted.
India and Australia also agreed to make a fresh push on a proposed bilateral comprehensive economic cooperation agreement. Prime Minister Turnbull, who also visited India's financial capital Mumbai, said both countries have wider scope to expand bilateral trade.
Prime Minister Modi has an ambitious reform agenda to make the tax system more efficient, deregulate the economy, invest in skills and training, and reduce the burden of red tape. With almost 26 years of unbroken economic growth, there are few countries in the world that can showcase the benefits that these kinds of reforms deliver as Australia can. This kind of commitment opens up new doors for economic engagement, and as close neighbours in the Indo-Pacific region, Prime Minister Modi and I are determined that Australia and India should work more closely together.
While discussing serious matters, the leaders shared lighter moments as they took the metro from Mandi House Station to Akshardham Station. Both leaders visited the famous Akshardham temple in the capital city, and Modi told Turnbull about India's cultural diversity.
The Indian Prime Minister also used cricket diplomacy in his speech to strengthen bonds between the people of two nations. Moving on to Afghanistan, where the US military forces dropped the largest non-nuclear bomb to flush out the Afghan branch of ISIS. This is the first time the GBU-43 bomb, known as the mother of all bombs, has ever been used in combat. We have a report.
Over 36 suspected ISIS militants were killed in Achin district of Nangarhar province, close to the border with Pakistan, when the US dropped the mother of all bombs, the GBU-43B. Military described the target location as tunnel complex used by the Afghan branch of ISIS. The bomb weighing 9,800 kg is dropped from Air Force plane and detonates before reaching the ground, resulting in an enormous blast radius. Nangarhar province is a deeply mountainous area, making normal military operations difficult. US President Donald Trump said he was very proud of the US military for the detonation of a massive bomb against Islamic State positions.
Very proud of the people. Really another successful job. We're very proud of our military. Just like we're proud of the folks in this room, we are so proud of our military, and it was another successful event.
The Afghan government confirmed that the attack had been carried out and great care had been taken to avoid civilian harm. In a statement, the Afghan government said the IS fighters in the tunnels had come from Pakistan and were persecuting people in the local area. However, security experts believe the bombing and destruction in Afghanistan will result in more insecurity in the region and rest of the world.
You know, the destruction caused by the bombing and all that, you know, people get maimed and people get killed and all that. So the children of those people who have been killed, you know, they will make Americans targets wherever they are. These acts of terrorism that have been happening in all the European cities, in the United States, everywhere, have something to do with the Muslim sense of alienation across the globe.
According to estimates from the US military in Afghanistan, there are between 600 to 800 ISIS-K fighters in the country. Most of them are based in southern Nangarhar province, including in Achin.
The US military is currently facing widespread concerns that its accelerated bombing in Syria, Iraq and Yemen are increasing civilian casualties. Moving on, China is growing its footprints in Asia as it continues to expand its investment and military base. Today, we focus on how the dragon is spreading its wings in Sri Lanka.
The recent visit of Chinese Defense Minister Chang Wang-kwan to Colombo spread discomfort in the region as the dragon is eyeing to widen its military base in the island nation. In 2014, Sri Lanka allowed a Chinese submarine and a warship to dock at its port in the capital Colombo, prompting concern in New Delhi. Apart from including Sri Lanka in its One Belt, One Road mission to create a modern Silk Road across Asia, Beijing has also invested heavily in the island nation of 21 million people in funding constructions of airports, roads, railways and ports. A Chinese-backed real estate project near Sri Lanka's main port is expected to attract $13 billion worth of investment in the form of housing, marinas, health facilities, schools and other developments over the next 30 years.
This is a huge market. This is a region that has been growing in a very fast pace at this point in time. And basically, I think what will happen here is that when we get everything in place, a lot of the people in the region would want to think about coming to Colombo to manage their wealth.
By 2019, Sri Lanka needs to repay $3.99 billion to foreign credits, compared with payments of $1.82 billion in 2016. Struggling to build foreign reserves, Sri Lanka has endorsed to lease out Hambantota port to China Merchants Port Holdings, a state-run Chinese company. They have also plans to allow China build a 6,000-hectare special industrial zone on an adjacent site.
China's growing military and economic presence in the Indian Ocean region is worrisome. To speak more on this, we are now joined by Mr. N.N. Jha, former Indian ambassador to Sri Lanka. Mr. Jha, China continues to expand its military and economic base in South Asia. How do you analyze its presence in Sri Lanka?
Well, this attempt by China to expand its presence, and not only commercial presence, but all other presence in Sri Lanka, is a part of what you just said, China's expansion of its bases in South Asia. Pakistan, you know very well, they're trying with Nepal, they've tried with Bangladesh also, and now Sri Lanka. Beyond that, in Maldives also they have been able to achieve something. So let me take your mind back to 3 decades ago. In the Rajiv Gandhi Jayavardhan Pact, India-Sri Lanka Agreement of 1987. It was largely because our concern at any foreign military presence in Sri Lanka. Now the same thing applies now, but in a much greater, to a much larger degree, because the China of 1987, the China of 2017 is entirely different. The present Chinese authorities are highly aggressive and expansionist also, and they feel that they have a right to be everywhere and others don't have a right to object.
Do you believe the Silk Road economic belt, which will link China with Europe, will give discomfort to others?
Well, maritime Silk Route is something still not being fully defined. China is again trying to rope in countries like Sri Lanka and Maldives with vast sums of money. And it's really, the policy is now backed up by any amount of money. So what they try to do is bribing countries to become their partners or allies, which is, I don't know how long that type of approach can be successful.
Thank you, Mr. Jha, for joining us. Moving on, Bangladesh is acting tough against Islamists engaged in terror activities. Recently, Chief of Band Harkatul Jihad al-Islami, HUJI, Mufti Abdul Hannan and his 2 associates were executed for a 2004 attack on a shrine that killed 3 people and wounded the British High Commissioner at the time. We have a report.
Abdul Hannan, 60, was hanged at Kashnimpur jail in Ghazipur along with his accomplice Sharif Shahidul alias Bipul. His associate Delwar Hussain Ripan was executed in Sylhet jail. On March 19, the Supreme Court upheld its verdict endorsing death penalty to Hannan and the 2 others for the 2004 attack on the then UK envoy. The then Bangladesh-born British High Commissioner Anwar Chaudhry narrowly escaped the grenade attack at a shrine in northeastern Sylhet that killed 3 people, all policemen, and injured 70 others. Anwar sustained minor injuries. The Speedy Trial Tribunal originally tried the case and delivered its verdict on December 23, 2008, sending to death HUJI leaders Shahidul Alam and Delawar Hussain alongside Hannan. HUJI was formed in 1992 by Bangladeshis who took part in the Afghan war against the Soviet forces in Afghanistan. The US has designated HUJI as a foreign terrorist organization and specially designated global terrorist, as Indian officials suspected the outfit's links in the Jaipur serial bombings and several other blasts there.
Bangladesh has witnessed a spate of attacks on secular activists, foreigners and religious minorities since 2013. Now we talk about Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan, the parts of erstwhile princely state of Jammu and Kashmir, which remains a colony of Pakistan for over 70 years. The residents in this region remain victims in the hands of Islamabad as they have no access to basic facilities. The political activists here are regularly being targeted by the security forces. My colleague Ravi Khandelwal spoke with Nasir Aziz Khan, an exiled political activist from POK.
Nasir, Pakistan has implemented the National Action Plan in POK and the voice has been suppressed out there, So what is the situation in POK?
Actually, if we see in so-called Azad Kashmir or Gilgit-Baltistan, there is no local media. And recently Pakistan imposed National Action Plan in so-called Azad Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. Before they were charging people, nationalist groups and secular progressive activists as in sedition charges. Anti-terrorist act courts were used against them. But now they are using new tactics. They are saying they are involved in blasphemy, and this is the highest tactics of, dirtiest tactics of Pakistan to suppress the voices of the local people. Because when you use the religion, and it is the easiest way to exploit the things that these people are anti-religion and they are anti-state, and everybody is against these people who are speaking about the atrocities in Pakistani occupied Kashmir or occupied Gilgit-Baltistan. They are targeted by agencies, by their private militia groups, militant groups, and this situation is very bad in that area.
It has also been noticed, that the security forces, they are targeting the youth, those who are using the social media out there, because the television and print media is not very much active in Pakistan occupied Kashmir. So how they are targeting the social media activists in POK?
We have only social media, Facebook or Twitter. We can share our views, and people, they are sending feedbacks from about human rights violations in Pakistani occupied Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. That's why they are very much focused on these lines, and they are planning to ban Facebook and Twitter and all other social websites where people can share and asking, demanding for their fundamental rights, basic human rights, and that's why they are targeting all activists, especially nationalists, those who believe that Kashmir should be united and Pakistan must take serious actions against these extremist groups because they are moving freely across POK, and now they are threatening also these groups.
On one side, Pakistan is showing its very much concern about the Kashmir issue, but in POK and Gilgit-Baltistan, the situation is not up to the mark. So, what is the double standard you see in the Pakistan's policy on Kashmir?
Actually, since 1947, when Kashmiri wanted, our legitimate ruler of Kashmir, Maharaja Hari Singh, he wanted that Kashmir should be independent. At that time, Pakistan didn't respect the aspirations of the Kashmiri people, their self-determination. Now they are propagating that we are the champion of the self-determination of Kashmiri people. Kashmir, those only living in valley or Jammu. But those Kashmiris under Pakistani administration, they have no rights, no say, and they are powerless because we are ruled by a powerful land officer. They are always imposed by Islamabad, and they are mostly from Punjab province. That's why local so-called president, prime minister, they don't have any powers.
Moving on, the political turmoil in Nepal has reached a new high, with Madhes-based parties vowing to disrupt the elections and government keeping their stand firm in conducting the elections on the slated date. We bring you a report on what has been transpiring lately in this Himalayan nation.
Nepal's Terai region is witnessing rallies and torch processions as Madhesis are opposing May 14th local body elections in the country. The Madhesis in the region have been constantly demanding the rollback of the election dates as they want amendments in the constitution. Disgruntled leaders have explicitly stated at various platforms that they will foil the electoral process if the government doesn't bring a constitutional amendment resolving their prolonged issues.
वो लोग तो डिक्लेयर कर चुके हैं बैसाख 31 को चुनाव, 16 को आपको नॉमिनेशन, तो हम लोग इसको विरोध करेंगे। गांव पालिका नगर पालिका जो उन्होंने बनाया है उसका भी विरोध करेंगे। हम लोग को कोई चीज़ नहीं चाहिए जब तक हम लोग को मधेश की समस्या का समाधान नहीं करेंगे। माओवादी के टोपी बनकर के आएंगे, उनको हम लोग समझाएंगे कि आप भी एक मधेसी के बेटा हो, आप भी एक मधेश के रहने वाले हो, आप लोग इस समस्या से समाधान करने के लिए हम लोग के साथ में आओ, हम लोग एकजुटता होकर चलो। आप भी मधेश है, आप भी सब कुछ है, इसलिए आप लोग चुनाव में भाग नहीं लीजिए। हम लोग प्रेम से दर्शाएंगे, प्रेम से समझाएंगे। नहीं मानेंगे तो इसके लिए हम लोग को जो रूप जो धारणा करना पड़ेगा, जो हम लोग को मोर्चा का निर्देशन होगा, सब लोग होगा, वो हम लोग करेंगे।
The new constitution promulgated on September 20, 2015 has failed to satisfy the Madhesis and Tharas, who constitute 70% of the Terai population. They regard the formation of 7 federal provinces as per the constitution as grossly unfair to them.
जद्दा ये लगने लगा कि हम लोगों को अंतिम बार फिर ठगा जा रहा है। संविधान जैसे कर्फ्यू लगा करके जारी हुआ, वैसे ही चुनाव सेना और पुलिस लगा करके करने का ओर बढ़ रहे हैं सत्ताधारी, जिसको जो है अभी स्वीकार करने की स्थिति में वहाँ की जनता नहीं है। कार्यकर्ता भले किसी पार्टी विशेष के उम्मीदवार होने के चक्कर में या चुनाव के ओर आगे बढ़ने में थोड़ा बहुत कसरत कर रहे हैं, फिर भी आम जनता में कोई उत्साह नहीं है, बल्कि एक निराशा और घृणा भी है।
Amid speculations of postponing of the elections, the Election Commission claims to have completed 90% of the work for successful commencement of the local elections slated for May 14th. The work to print ballot papers for 75 districts and 14 administrative zones is almost done. It is estimated that up to 16 million ballot papers are needed for the local level polls.
Nepal has over 14 million eligible voters. To know about the preparations of the Election Commission, we are now joined by Ila Sharma, the Election Commissioner of Nepal. Ms. Sharma, how's the preparation going on for the elections, especially in the Terai Madhes region?
Everything is going according to our timeline. We have finalized the voter rolls. Ballot papers have been printed, almost nearing completion. We have started printing the voter ID cards. We have managed to acquire, procure whatever material is needed for the election. So everything is going smoothly.
Are you confident of peacefully holding the elections despite the growing resistance from the Madhesi parties?
We are confident that we will be holding the elections. When we talk to the government, when we talk to the Home Ministry, they have assured us of security situation. Our preparations are underway, right on according to the timeline, so there should not be a problem.
Thank you, Ms. Sharma. Now let's move to Panjshir in Afghanistan, where horsemen demonstrated sportsmanship in traditional Buzkashi, Afghanistan's national sport. In Buzkashi, which literally means goat pulling, the horse-mounted players attempt to place a goat or calf carcass in a goal.
A crash of horses and men deep in a mountain pass signals the start of another game of Buzkashi, Afghanistan's national sport. It is a sport which is often violent but designed to showcase the rider's horsemanship and warrior spirit. Amid foreign invasions, civil wars and insurgent attacks, Afghans have gathered to cheer on their favorite chapandas, as the riders are known. Recently, a typical community match was played out under the soaring snow-capped peaks that surround the Panjshir Valley.
کسی اگر میفتادم کسی که مسئولیت نداره یه گپی نیست که قدر کس دشمنی داشته باشه یک انانات شوق مردم است.
The game typically involves riders on horses wrestling over half of a calf carcass, which is usually able to withstand the pounding better than goats. Matches may involve individual players competing or teams often owned or sponsored by powerful warlords or other leaders. In both cases, the goal is to carry the carcass and drop it on a target on the ground, all while dozens of other riders and horses grab, hit, kick and struggle to tear the carcass away. Some riders are calling for the government to build specific grounds for them to play the sport in a safer environment. Buzkashi is the national sport of Afghanistan. Although it was not banned, it certainly experienced a sharp decline due to reduced number of playing horses under the Taliban regime.
Games similar to Buzkashi are played by several Central Asian ethnic groups. Now I take your leave with lively celebrations of Baisakhi, a festival which marks the start of harvesting season in India. Goodbye and take care.